our topic is machine learning, how artificial intelligence is revolutionizing medical laboratory diagnostics. So in this webinar, we're going to be looking at how AI is changing some techniques in medical laboratory science. So in recent times, we can see that the world is actually tending towards technology. So there's need to improve ourselves in the knowledge of this AI and the tools in order to stay relevant in the field, actually. So the AI is actually incorporated in almost every sector, in the finance, in the marketing, education, and even in our own healthcare. So that is the reason why we're going to be having this lecture today, to know how to stay relevant, to know these tools and how to get to use them, yes, in our field. So I'll be calling on the speaker that will take us on this lecture for today. But before that, please, I want to crave everyone's indulgence to mute their mic in the course of this lecture so that we will not disrupt the lecture or distract the speaker, please. And then after the lecture, there will be a question and answer series. That's when we get to ask our questions. So please don't interrupt the speaker while he's speaking to ask your questions. Just type your question in the chat box so that we'll pick it up from there, or you can wait till after the lecture, then you can do an oral question. So I would like to call on the speaker. I don't know if he's present here yet. Mr. Emmanuel Ani.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the warm introduction. Just before we kick off, I would like to appreciate the organizing team and also Emmanuel for organizing this webinar and also giving me the opportunity to speak here. It's a privilege, and I appreciate every one of you. All right, so just a brief introduction, nothing much. Okay, my name is Emmanuel Ani, a recent graduate from the University of Nigeria. Yeah, studied medical laboratory sciences, and yeah, basically I'm a data scientist with over 2 years of hands-on experience. I was started out as a data analyst before transitioning into data science. So I pretty much have experience and yeah, quite some experience in the field. So it would be an honor to also extend and also share the knowledge I have concerning this particular field with everyone here. So I would want to crave plead for your attention, because it's going to be a little bit new, because it's not something that you expect normally or commonly in webinars for laboratory scientists. So I just hope you would love it and get something out of this. Yeah. So thank you very much. So without further ado, I would like to move into my slide. So I have a slide I'll be using for the presentation. So I'm going to be sharing my slide now. All right, can you guys see the slide? Can you see the slide?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So I will try as much as possible not to waste much time. Me myself, I don't like spending so much time on online meetings. So I will also try to replicate that here. So right now, as the moderator has said, we'll be talking on machine learning and how AI is revolutionizing medical laboratory diagnostics, right? So this is something that we've all been hearing recently. We've been hearing about machine learning, AI, artificial intelligence, this one, that one, and the rest, right? So it's important that we also understand how this innovative technology is applied or is integrated into our field as laboratory scientists, right? So we don't get kicked off. So we need to stay afloat with what is happening. We need to understand the trend, and we also need to flow with it and move along with it. So that is one of the reasons for this particular webinar. And I once again appreciate the organizers for bringing this up and organizing this particular session, right? So going straight to the slide, we'll look at what machine learning is. All right, before diving into the content, I would like to just give you an overview of what to expect. Right now, we're not doing any, this is not a practical session, so we won't be using any tool, we won't be doing any coding, we won't be doing those technical stuff, right? So it's just a conceptual overview of machine learning and its integration and relationship with laboratory diagnostics. So we're just going to be trying to lay foundation, trying to give you an understanding of what's this particular. Someone has can you turn it off? All right, thank you very much. So we'll try to be giving an overview and a brush on this technology and how it relates with medical diagnostics, right? All right, so what exactly is machine learning and AI? So AI is artificial intelligence, right? So for some of us, we might already be familiar with this term. It's not a new thing. It's a kind of a buzzword that has been going, that has been said all over the place, on the internet, in person, all over social media, right? So it's not something that is new to us. Probably, I'm pretty sure a good proportion of us have interacted or used ChatGPT. So that is exactly artificial intelligence in practice. So we are not necessarily new to this, and this is not the first time hearing this, but we might not necessarily understand what it means. We might just be hearing machine learning, artificial intelligence this, artificial intelligence that, but what exactly is it, right? So that is just what I'm going to be doing in this session, trying to give you an understanding of this topic and what exactly it is. All right, so so machine learning basically is a subset of artificial intelligence, that focuses on the development of algorithms and statistical models, enabling computer systems to improve their performance on a specific task through learning from data, without being explicitly programmed. All right, so there are three things here you need to pay attention to. One, data. Two, algorithm. Three, the machine itself or the computer, right? So from the word itself, machine learning, you already understand what, you should already know, have an idea what it is, what it's all about. Machine and learning, a machine that is learning something, right? So, but it's understandable. It's easy to understand based on the word itself, but what exactly does it entails, right? So that is what I'm going to try to expound on right now. So there are three things that I mentioned earlier: data, algorithm, and machine. So now we have these are the three things that make machine learning possible. One, data. We all know what data is, right? Data is everywhere. We are interacting with data right now. Okay, for instance, a human being, and let me just use a very relatable example. As a person, we have 5 senses or 5 sense organs, right? And it is through these sense organs that we relate or we interact with the world. So exactly how we interact with this world is how is what is being replicated in this machine learning and artificial intelligence system. So for instance, let's just take for instance perception, sight, vision. So we interact with the world in one true vision, through perceiving the environment, taking in light data from the environment. So we have our eye, we have the environment around us, and we also have our brain, and the central processing units of the human system. So whenever we see an image or look at something or identify something or use, basically whenever we use our eye, what basically happens is that we are taking in data. So the reason why I'm giving this example is to give you an example of data and how it is ubiquitous basically, and how we interact with it and its importance too, right? So when we look at an image through our eye, what we take in basically is their light data, which are called photons, right? So these photons, there are billions and millions of them around. Wherever there is light, there are photons. So what we take in basically as a raw data are this light data, photons. So the sensory organ, that is our eye, is able to capture, is able to sense this data in its raw format. It doesn't make sense. It is just there. So once the data is gotten, it is now transferred to the brain via the optic nerve, which is now interpreted, right? So it is interpreted via the neural connection, neurons that are connected in our brain and everything, which then produce the image that you see. You can now identify what you are seeing as a human being. You can now say, oh, this is a car, this is a person, this is this is that, right? So this is just basically the idea of artificial intelligence. It is trying to mimic human intelligence, right? And this is just a single point, that is vision. So although I'm not going to go deep into that, we have a branch of artificial intelligence that deals with that is computer vision. It has to do with trying to mimic human vision in a machine or a computer, right? So this example is just to give you an understanding of what AI is, right? So let's just go back to machine learning and what we're talking about. So I talked about data, right? And I talked about how data is really important to establish these machine learning systems. And I gave you an example of the light data that our eye taking. So all these things are possible only because there is data. But the data is not enough. We need an algorithm, right? So now, when we take in this data as photons, there's an algorithm that's, okay, still using the human example, there's an algorithm that is inbuilt in us to process this data to give you the information, right? So this algorithm is something that we can't explain. Most of the neuroscientists we have, they can't really explain or understand it. You get so, but there's an algorithm that is being that is put in us to process this data that is coming from our environment and give us a meaningful information, right? So just to move quickly. So we also have the machine itself, so the computing power, right? So our brain in this instance is the computing power, right? So the combination of the data, algorithm, and machine gives rise to this powerful intelligence, what we call intelligence in human beings. So is exactly what happens when you try to do this machine learning or create a machine learning system, right? So basically that's just what it is, and I hope we're all following at this point. So artificial intelligence also, it's kind of a broader field. It's a multidisciplinary field of computer science that focuses on creating systems, machine, or software that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, right? So in summary, AI is basically a system that tries to mimic human intelligence, right? So what they are doing in creating an artificial intelligence system is trying to mimic human intelligence. So when you're interacting with the computer, it kind of gives this perception of a human being, right, speaking to you or interacting with you. Just for instance, when you go online and you log in on ChatGPT website and you start asking ChatGPT questions, like it gives you a very natural response. Like it's getting it's processing the input in real time and giving you answer based on what you are saying and the context of the conversation. So there are a lot of things that go into producing this system, right? There are a lot of technical stuff. There are a lot of mathematics. There are a lot of computing power, right? So But basically, the end product is just to produce a system that mimics human behavior. So that is just about AI and machine learning. Just giving you this, just to give you an overview or understanding of what this basically is. So now when we look at this diagram, it kind of highlights the relationship between machine learning, AI, and also deep learning. Okay, yeah, we also have what we call deep learning, which I'm going to explain later. But you can see the machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is a general concept. So machine learning is now a technique, right, that is used, an approach that is used to achieve AI, artificial intelligence, you get. So we also have deep learning. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning, right? Okay, we'll go into that later on, but just understand the relationship between these three different concepts. All right, I also like to categorize or give the examples or the categories of machine learning. I know we are not going into the technical details of this, but this is really important to understand because as we move on, you might need some of the information here. So in machine learning itself, we have three categories or three types of machine learning. We have unsupervised machine learning, we have supervised machine learning, and we also have reinforcement learning. So these are the three basic types of machine learning. If you are into machine learning, you will know this already. You would have already seen this multiple times, right? So for this, based on the for the purpose of this study, we'll just be looking at unsupervised machine learning. All right. So what is exactly supervised machine learning? So supervised machine learning, in supervised machine learning, basically the algorithm is trained. So I've spoken about the algorithm, the data set, and the machine and the computing or the computing power, right? Those three things that are necessary for achieving a machine learning system. So now in supervised machine learning, the algorithm is trained on a labeled data set. So this is what you need to understand. This is what differentiates supervised machine learning from unsupervised machine learning. So the algorithm is trained on a labeled data set where each input is associated with a known output. I'll explain this. Don't worry, I'll explain this. I know this is sounding new to so many of us that are not really familiar with it. So I'm definitely going to give an example to help to drive it home to everyone, right? So the goal here is to learn a mapping from input to output. So for instance, now you want to create a machine learning model that is able to identify cats. Like once you give it your computer or that model the picture of a cat, the computer or the machine should be able to look at the image and tell you that yes, this is a cat and not another thing or not another animal, right? So to achieve that, you can use the supervised machine learning approach. And in the supervised machine learning, what is being done is that you get a lot of data. Whenever you're talking of machine learning, remember that data is important, like very important, like very, very important. So before you start, you get lots of data, right? And then for the supervised machine learning, you label all those data. For instance, you got the data, the images of cats. You want the model to be able to recognize cat images. So what you tell it is you train it. This is what we call training in machine learning. You train the algorithm on that particular data set. And this is how it is done. You bring a picture of a cat and you bring the picture of a cat and you tell the machine or you label, you say, okay, this particular picture is a cat. You label it as a cat. You get. So in some instances like this, usually like have what we call classification. So you usually probably want to classify two different animals, like a cat and a dog. So you get the pictures of cat and dog like repeatedly, just randomly, right? So you just get lots of them, thousands and millions of them, as much as you can. You label each of them. This one is a cat, this one is a dog, this one is a cat, this one. So you take that data like that is labeled and pass it into that particular algorithm. So the algorithm now will learn the mappings for each of the data. So it will look at the particular picture or image you sent to it and analyze so many, like I don't want to go into details, right? It actually goes pixel by pixel, understanding some important feature that makes this thing you call cat a cat. So it learns it and then understand that, okay, this thing is now a cat, right? So it has learned how a cat should be like. So the reason for giving it so many data is because of variation. Like a cat is not just one particular thing. So there are different kinds of cat postures. A cat might be lying down, a cat might be. So you have to pass in so many data for it to understand variations, right? So once you do this, then you train it, and then the model will be built. So once you finish building your model and it has finished learning, you then bring a picture of a cat and then show it to it to know if your model is doing well. And your model should be able to identify this. That is, okay, the image you're bringing to it now is not labeled. So it's you give the new data to it, and the computer, based on what it has learned, should be able to identify this as a cat. So that's just basically the idea of supervised machine learning. This example now should be able to give you an understanding, of how machine learning works, and especially supervised machine learning. So supervised machine learning is like this is the commonest, the most common application or the most common form of machine learning. So there are various algorithms that are under supervised machine learning, which I will not go into, but just know exactly what it does and how it is. So the other one is unsupervised machine learning, which is the opposite of supervised. So instead of passing in a label to that to each data, you just pass in the data to the computer like that, and the computer tries to find relationship between the data, right? So this is a different application of machine learning, and is mostly used for, okay, we are not doing a machine learning course here, right? So I just want to give us an understanding of machine learning. So just understand the differences between supervised and unsupervised machine learning. So one use labeled data set and the other unlabeled data sets, unsupervised, supervised, basically, right? So let's go straight to deep learning. So I showed you a picture of the relationship between AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So this deep learning in particular is a subset of machine learning. So it is a kind of is a different kind of algorithm or approach to machine learning, and this one particularly tries to mimic the way the brain works, right? So deep learning is a specific type of machine learning that focuses on the development of neural networks. So neural networks are basically like your brain. You have interconnected neurons in your brain, right? So there are a lot of them. They're basically these neurons that processes the data that you get from your eye, right? And processes this data and give you meaningful information. So the neurons there are basically what analyze or process your data to give you an output. So in deep learning, it is being replicated there, right? But not exactly how it is in the human brain. It is way complex, right? This is just a very toned down version of what's our brain neural network. So they try to develop neural networks that that tries to map relationship between data, right? So this is not a deep learning course or a machine learning course, right? So we'll not be going into the nitty-gritty of it and the inner workings, right? So as you can see, it's a specific type of machine learning that focuses on the development of neural networks, particularly deep neural networks, which are inspired by the structure and the function of the human brain. So as I've said before, so these networks consist of multiple layers, hence deep, of interconnected nodes or artificial neurons. So I just hope you understand exactly what deep learning is and what machine learning is, and also what artificial intelligence is. For those of us that are just getting to hear this for the first time, I really hope this explanation was able to give you that understanding, right? So let's go straight to what we have next. So now our topic is centering on the relationship or how AI is revolutionizing medical laboratory diagnostics, right? So basically, I am guessing everybody here is in one way or the other in the healthcare industry or in the healthcare field. So we understand what diagnosis is, and we know what diagnosis is, right? So diagnostics play a fundamental role in the healthcare, undoubtedly. Like, pretty sure everybody here has been diagnosed before, has gone to the lab to do a test, or probably gone to the lab to get an X-ray done, or just something basically. So you've understand firsthand, you've experienced firsthand the importance of diagnosis and how it plays a fundamental role in healthcare, right? So it plays a fundamental role in healthcare, and their importance cannot be overstated. It cannot be overemphasized. So diagnostics encompass a wide range of medical tests, procedures, and tools that aid in the identification, assessment, and monitoring of disease and health condition. So this is something that I don't need to go deep into because we all understand, I'm pretty sure we all understand what this means, right? So let's move forward. Right, so we're talking about the importance of diagnostics in healthcare. So these are just a few of them. Early disease detection, very important. Treatment planning, preventive care, monitoring progress, public health surveillance, identification of infectious agents, and etc. etc. So these are some of the importance of diagnostics in healthcare. So I'm just trying to bring this up so understand why we are talking about this. We're talking about how AI is revolutionizing diagnostics in healthcare, right? Because diagnostics is very important. Is very, very important in healthcare. It is very important. It cannot be overemphasized. So introducing AI and helping diagnostics to be more efficient is really, really important. So we need to understand how artificial intelligence is being applied to diagnostics, and it's been applied to this particular to this. Yeah. So let's look at some traditional diagnostic methods. So I'm going to be a little biased here. I'm going to be talking a little bit more on the medical laboratory diagnostics diagnosis, right? So although you can still relate if you're not necessarily a medical laboratory scientist, this is something that you can still apply to whatever field you are in or whatever profession you are in, right? So now these are some diagnostic method that we know. Microscopy. So this is very, very common one in microbiology, in hematology, in histopathology. You use microscopy. Like, it is a very important tool in diagnosis. Like, there are some things that you can never know until you put them under the microscope and see what exactly is causing that ailment, or see what exactly the problem is. So this is a means of diagnosing disease, or getting to know exactly what is wrong with the patient. So we also have the pap smear analysis. This one is very common too. That is usually used done in histopathology for the cervical cancer screening, right? So you get the sample, and then you do your test. So these are things that we all understand, the different traditional diagnosis methods or techniques. So we also have tissue analysis / histopathology. So this is another common one. Probably I've seen this, if not done it yourself. Whenever you're a surgery, for instance, a surgery is being done, a biopsy can be taken and then taken to the lab for tissue analysis to know exactly what the problem is, probably to check for a tumor, if it is benign or malignant, or just do a lot of analysis basically on that particular tissue. So we also have microbiology, culture, and sensitivity. So this is for our microbiology people out there. And you understand the importance of identifying organisms, right? Be very, very pivotal to diagnosing an ailment, doing sensitivity tests, doing this and doing that. So these are all traditional methods of diagnosis. We have hormonal assay, the one from chemical pathology. So try to understand if there is a kind of a hormonal imbalance understand the level of certain hormones, and just map relationships between the level of hormones, and use it to understand the problem or diagnose the patient of certain diseases. So there are so many. Just trying to give you an overview, or to just bring this to light and put in context. So when we're talking about the relationship between it and artificial intelligence, you would understand better, right? So we have other ones, and yeah, you can also add, for those of us that are not necessarily in laboratory science, you can just fit in the methods you use in your field of study, right? So we are being inclusive here, right? So now we've talked about artificial intelligence, we talked about machine learning, we've talked about diagnosis and diagnostics in healthcare. So now, where does AI come in? Like, how does AI how is AI integrated in this thing, in the thing we do, in the diagnosis processes and all those things we just talked about, right? So before we go into that, I just want to like give us a kind of overview of artificial intelligence generally, right? So over the past 10 years, like just recently, there's if it should be, if the AI trend is plotted on a graph, you would see a steady rise, and then you see something that goes up immediately, right? So that is exactly where we are right now. So there's a surge of AI and artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all those stuff, right? Everybody wants to go into AI right now. All businesses want to apply AI, all sectors, nobody wants to be left behind. Everybody is saying, oh, this is good technology. What can we do with it? What can we do? So everybody wants to be involved. So it is buzzing. That is what is buzzing right now. That is what everybody, that is basically what is happening, right? So over the past 10 years, basically, AI has been cutting across different sectors, like from finance to sport to commerce to agriculture, literally everywhere. And one of the enabler of this is data, as I said before, right? So let me just give you a quick fact. So between the dawn of time and 2003, right, about 5 exabytes of data had been created at Google. Just Google, you get. So by just think of it, 5 exabytes. If you should check it up and understand the magnitude of that volume of data, you'll be awed. You literally be awed. So we know petabytes, right? Petabyte is usually a very large unit of measuring data. So exabyte, 1 exabyte is equal to 1,000 petabytes of data, or equivalent to 1 billion gigabytes of data. So just have that in your mind. So 5 exabytes of data have been created just at Google between the dawn of time and 2003. So now by 2010, this amount of data was being created every 2 days. Just get that in. By 2010, this same amount, 5 exabytes of data, was created every 2 days. So that means every 2 days you have about 5 exabytes of data being created. That is a mind-boggling amount and magnitude of data. Like, right? Okay, so let's just go on. So now, that aside, so now by 2021, that's just 2 years ago, it was recorded that this same amount of data, 5 exabytes of data, was being created every 40 minutes. So in less than an hour, I think we are almost 40 minutes into this session right now. So between the start of this session till now, 5 exabytes of data has been created. That is a mind-boggling amount of data to be created within a short time. So this just give you an understanding of the amount of data that we have in the world right now. So there's a need to harness this data. Like there's a need. That is basically the reason one of the reasons we have AI surging at this point in time. It is not a coincidence. It is not by accident. It is because everything fell in place at the right time, right? So data is one of them. Computing power is another very important factor, because you can have lots of data, but you might not have the computing power to do so. So if you look back like a few years ago, when computer was just coming up, you will realize that if you have like about 10 megabytes storage in your device or in your office, you have lots of data, right? Also, not necessarily the computing power. Then okay, we have different levels of computing power. Then when we had the mainframe computer and how that computer that fill an entire room will just perform few calculations, right? Fast forward to now, I have a phone in my hand. This phone can literally do like 100, 1,000, a million folds of what those computers previously would be able to do. So we have a lot of computing power right now. So coupled with this data and huge amount of computing power, we can now bring in the algorithms. These algorithms that enables AI, they've been around for years back. Theoretically. So they've not been able to implement them because of this lack of data and lack of computing power. So now that we have these three things in place, it is only necessary that we are able to use these things to develop this particular innovation, which is artificial intelligence. So it is no surprise, it is no coincidence, it is no accident at all, right? So that is exactly why we are having this around AI right now. Okay, so we've understood that AI is everywhere. Wherever there's data, in finance, there's always data. Transaction data everywhere. You are making transaction every day. Access Bank is debiting you. They're getting the information that everything that surrounds your transaction. So this data are being stored. Like this data are being stored in the database. So there are lots of data available in different industries. In the commerce industry, there's a lot of data. In the agricultural industry, a lot of data, right? And the healthcare industry is no exception. Like we are also generating lots of data. We are also generating lots of data. That is why you hear people saying, as a data analyst or a data scientist, you can literally work anywhere as long as there's data there. You can literally, you're not restricted to any. You can work, if you're a football lover and you love sports, you can become a data scientist or a data analyst and go and start analyzing food and applying it to football matches. Football is like one of the sector field that generates lots of data, right? Just a fun fact, it was artificial intelligence, a data scientist that literally used insights to bring Mohamed Salah to Liverpool. It was literally using the power of data to look for the perfect fit, right? So this is just something, one of the application and one of the impact of data. So that is just by the way. So now we're talking about how AI cut across different sectors. So healthcare is no exception, right? AI empowers healthcare professionals with advanced tools and insights, ultimately improving patient
What did you say?
Hello. Pardon? Hello? Okay. Okay. So I said AI basically empowers healthcare professionals with advanced tools and insights, ultimately improving patient outcomes and reducing diagnostic errors. So there are lots of application of AI in healthcare right now. Like if you just look around, you see like most of these medical sectors hospitals and centric actually applying AI to improve their diagnosis, right? You see an app, like just something as simple as an app that can just take a picture of something. You can probably have a rash on your body and take a picture of that rash And with an AI built app, basically, you can just take that picture and run it through the model, and the model will tell you exactly what that is and give you relevant information pertaining to that, right? So that is just a part, it's an application, a benefit of AI in diagnosis, right? So these are things that you probably heard of or seen, right? So we're just going to run down through these things and just explain how AI is being integrated or has revolutionized diagnosis in medical laboratory sciences. So AI plays a multifaceted and transformative role in healthcare, which we all know. So now I'm just going to give an example of application of AI, artificial intelligence, right? So there are few of them which I will just run down. I'll just run through them. So first, we have what we call digital pathology image analysis. So I don't know if we know what digital pathology is. So digital pathology is like is basically taking high resolution, which I'll still talk about later. We are going to focus on the digital pathology aspect. So the digital pathology, okay, right? Let me just leave that because we'll talk about that one. We'll talk about that later. So we also see predictive analytics and risk assessment. So now AI, one of the use of machine learning and AI is the ability to predict, to tell you what will happen in the future based on what they've seen, right? So once you have lots of data, once you have data, health data, right, concerning a particular ailment or concerning a particular disease, right, previous data that you've trained on a model, you can bring in something new and put it in. Probably, okay, let's say you have a data of people that have, okay, you have data of people that had cancer, right? So there's a way you can actually use this data to predict people that are prone to it or they are predisposed to get this cancer. So the AI can get details, can get information that. Hello, can you guys? Hello.
I can't see the screen.
Well, I'm trying to get the screen, but the screen is not coming up.
Wow.
Your screen is not playing. We're only seeing your audio. I mean, we can only hear you, but no screen, no picture, no slide, nothing.
I'm so sorry about that. Let me try sharing the screen again. So. Can we see the screen now? Hello?
No, not yet.
Not yet, not yet.
We can't see the screen.
No, not yet.
All right, just give me a minute, please. Let me try to work around it. Sorry, can we all see the screen now? Okay. I think it might be a network issue. I think it might be a network issue. So I'm going to have to send this slide to Emmanuel, and he will share it on the YMLSF group. Right. So I'm really sorry about that. I really thought you guys were following with the slides. Let me try to go around this.
So just give us a couple of minutes. I'm trying to get the slides from him so I can share them on the YMLSF platforms, all the platforms, so we can follow on our end. I think it's like a network issue. So that's because the screen was showing before now, and all of a sudden now it's showing now.
Okay,
the
it's
screen is
done.
showing now. Yeah, but I'll still share the slides with us all the same, so we can just try to follow as best as possible, so we don't take so much time in the session. And then I'll share the slides, and if you have any questions, we can ask them here. If we have questions that we need to ask after, I can always share Emmanuel's contact so we can talk with him. So, but I think for now we can return to the session, so we can finish in good time.
All right. Thank you very much. So we can all see the screen, right? All right. Thank you.
Yes,
so,
I see the screen. Thank you.
all right, great. I'll still send the slides to Emmanuel so you can share it with you guys, and you would go through them at your own convenience. All right. So all right, we're talking of the diagnostic methods, and we talked about microscopy, we talked about pap smear analysis, we talked about all this stuff, and then we now started explaining where artificial intelligence integrates with this diagnostics method, right? So I was just giving an overview of AI, how it began and why it is everywhere at the moment, and how healthcare is no exception, right? So we have lots of data in healthcare. We have a lot of data generated every day. We have records. We have lab results. We have tissue samples, and we have digital tissue samples. So we have a lot of them. So I went on to start listing out the areas or the places where we can see this AI application. We can see AI applied to diagnosis, basically, right? So we talked about predictive analysis and risk assessment. You can see that I skipped digital pathology and image analysis, right? Because I'm actually going to talk on it later on. So for the sake of time, I will just quickly run down these different applications of AI. So for the predictive analysis, we can it's basically predicting please, can you mute your mic, please? Thank you. So we have predictive analysis and risk assessment. So AI is able to predict what would happen, or predict your chances of getting a particular disease based on your records or based on what it has been trained on. So if you give it data, health data, records, and all this data that is associated with a particular disease, and you map it, you label it, right? You use supervised machine learning to train that model, and it has already learned a mapping between this set of the relationship between a set of markers of variables and a particular outcome, which is a particular ailment or disease. So you can train it on those kind of data and then give it a new data, right? You can just bring in a patient record and pass it into the AI model. The AI model will be able to tell you that, oh, based on what I'm saying right now, this person has a risk, stand a chance of getting this. And then preventive measures can now be taken, and the doctor can now keenly monitor that particular person to avoid it escalating. So this is a very good application of AI. Like, it's a really, really good way to prevent a lot of things from happening, a lot of ailments that we could not have caught with our human eye or with experience, right? I know we have very good pathologists, we have very good scientists, and we have people that are experienced, but there are some things that human eye or human experience can't catch. And these models can able to detect these things, very tiny details, right? So this is just an example of it. We have clinical decision support. So this is basically like a virtual assistant to the health practitioner. So you can have an AI that will help you alongside your work. It can just be basically giving you more information on what you are currently doing. So there are just lots of them. So we have drug discovery and development. So basically AI is really, really used in drug discovery and development. So these are for people in pharmaceutical industry. So basically the drug discovery process takes lots of time and lots of money. Like, if you really researched on drug discovery and looked at how drug is discovered, you realize that there are a lot of experiment, a lot of things that goes into drug discovery. But AI speed up this process. It's basically use different combinations, like different combination of chemical compounds to test for new drug and effect, and just all these things that are entailed in drug discovery. So basically AI also help to speed up drug discovery, reducing cost and reducing the time spent, right? So we also have genomic medicine. This is very, very common too, and some of us here might be interested in genomic medicine. So this is also an area where AI is helping. So we have lots of genomic data. I think that is where we have the most the most data in the healthcare, right? So AI can use this data to do so many things. To do it, the possibilities are endless. So we also have natural language processing. So NLP is a branch of AI. Like, I didn't really go into that aspect. We have natural language processing. We also have computer vision. So I said the computer vision is like trying to replicate the eye, human eye. Why natural language processing is also replicating our hearing and also our speech, like basically trying to replicate human language, understanding language, and also like explaining things with language, right? So you can use this NLP to in medical in healthcare. So we can literally sorry for the break. So basically this NLP technique can actually be used to extract insights from unstructured clinical notes, medical records, and also research literature. So think there's so many literature out there that you can pass into AI models, and AI models can literally summarize it for you. You can give it a lab test result, right? So usually in a lab test result, you have so many variables there. You have the red blood cell, the white blood cell, the count, the this, the that, the hormonal assay, and all those things. So you can just pass this thing into the AI model. AI model will be able to look at all these things generally, and based on what it has been trained on, it will tell you that, okay, this person with this particular set of lab results has or is possibly has this particular disease, right? So there are a lot of potentials in that area. So we also have healthcare chatbots. This is like ChatGPT, but now it can be fine-tuned into healthcare, right? So you can use the ChatGPT foundation model to build a chatbot for healthcare. So someone can just it should just be like counseling, not necessarily replacing the doctor, right? So, but in situations where you just need a quick answer, that would be will still be valid, because most of these things we have online are not necessarily advised to follow. But there are some chatbot that can be built specifically to help you with medical decisions, right? So these are just some examples of applications of AI in healthcare. So I'll just urge you to, you can, after this session, you can go on and just make further research and look into it and see the ones that interest you and just explore basically. So I've sent the slide to Emmanuel, and Emmanuel will share the slide to us later after the session. So now we'll look at AI and digital pathology. So I said we're going to just skip over that and then come back to it. So now I talked about digital pathology, right? So most of us here, we might not necessarily be familiar with digital pathology because it's not practiced in our country that much. So digital pathology is basically digital pathology is a medical imaging technique that involves scanning and converting glass microscope slides into high resolution digital images. So you've made your slide, right? Your tissue slide, and you want to convert it. You want to make a digital copy of that because that is what your AI model will work on. You cannot pass in physical slide into your AI. It's not even possible, right? So you have to convert it to a format that can be taken up by AI. So these slides are converted. They are actually scanned, right? So they're scanned by a particular scanner, and then the image generated high resolution image is then stored in whatever database that is being used. So these images can be stored, analyzed, and shared electronically, allowing for more efficient and accurate diagnostics. So in digital pathology, now you can see this flow, this image, and how the slide from the number from the top left corner, the slide that has a tissue section is being scanned digitally by a scanner. So it is converted to a particular data format that can now be stored in a computer. So if you look at your top right, you will see a computer that has an image of the tissue section. So this is a digital tissue section. Is what we call digital pathology, right? So you have these images stored. You can scan as many of them and store them. So what you then do with them is now based on what you want to achieve. So you can be probably trying to create a model that will detect, you'll be able to detect chemical compounds or detect markers, tumor markers, or so many other things based on what you want to do in slides like this. So once you've converted them to digital image, you can now pass these images, as I've said before, into an AI model and train them. And this model can now be used to make predictions, to make accurate predictions, and to tell you where there is an abnormality, to pick up so many minute details that you might not necessarily catch with your natural physical eye, right? So after conversion of tissue slides to high resolution digital images, image analysis can be carried out on those images, as I've said. So this is where AI comes in. So this is another very good application of AI in diagnostics. So it speeds up this process, right? So this AI can actually diagnose a particular sample in less than 5 seconds, and it is very accurate. This is almost always very accurate. Like the accuracy, I think it was compared with benchmark accuracy of human pathology, and it was actually better, right? It does it faster and it does it better. So these things are actually revolutionizing the medical laboratory diagnostics. And it is important that we know about them. We know them. We understand how this AI is bringing value to diagnosis. So that is it for digital pathology. I think I'll just have to stop here because of time. We've actually spent quite some time. So so now it's probably everybody here might be concerned. Like, might be asking, oh, wow. So now you've talked about all this thing, AI this, AI that. Like, should you be scared of AI integration into the healthcare system and laboratory diagnostics? Like, how do we respond to this AI evolution as laboratory scientists? So that is actually a very valid question, because that should be the first thing that will come to your mind, right? So how do we address this? So first of all, I just listed out some things that we should know. So first thing first, embrace technology, right? So one thing that is certain, or one thing that is constant, is change. So there's usually, we are progressing. We are not stagnant at the human race specifically. So the things we are doing now, we weren't doing 50 years ago. The thing that we are doing now, we will definitely not be doing 50 years into the future. So we need to be in that position to embrace technology when we see them. We should not be in that position to kind of be resistant against technology and innovation. So we should bring an open mind when talking about this, and we should be open-minded to receive this innovation. That is a very good first step. And we also have to continually learn, continuous learning. I think there's a particular quote, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it has to say something about it is only those who learn continually that will succeed in life, something like that. So if you want to stay afloat, if you want to keep abreast of what is happening and still retain value with change, you need to be a learner. You need to be not just a learner, you need to be a continuous learner, someone that would actively understand the I would say trend. I would say that tries to understand where we are generally as human beings and what exactly is being done and what exactly is buzzing, and try to, at this point, I don't like using the word joining the bandwagon, but at this point, you have to join the bandwagon and learn, upskill. Even as a medical laboratory scientist, you should not be restricted to just bench work. You should not be restricted to just doing the manual. Those things are going extinct. Actually, we in this country, right? In this country right now, we're actually backward. If you go outside there, you see that there are a lot of advances in laboratory technology. Like, as I said before, this digital pathology is something that is very common out there. But here in Nigeria, most of us don't even know it. This might be the first time we're hearing about digital pathology, right? So this is a very important skill you need to have, learning, continuous learning. So another one is collaboration with AI and ML specialists. So if you are a medical practitioner, let's say you own a healthcare facilities, you should be open to collaborate with AI and ML specialists to integrate these things into your healthcare system. And you should not keep yourself within that bubble of being traditional. I understand, but you should try to learn collaboration. Seek out these people, even if you don't know this thing, even you might not necessarily be an expert, but you can also outsource and try to collaborate with these people that can help integrate this AI system into your healthcare facilities. And it's definitely something that you will not regret, right? So the next one is adaptability. You need to be able to adapt. Like, this is a human, I think this is part of the living characteristics of the living thing. You need to be adaptable. You need to learn how to adapt to changes, right? So there's an innovation now that is coming up, AI and everything. How do I fit myself in so that I will not get lost? So it's still the same thing as embracing technology. And so all these things are still saying the same thing. So the last one is advocacy and policy, right? So we also be out there talking about AI, trying to understand the policies that are being set and the rest. So right now, I will be concluding with the benefits of AI in medical laboratory diagnosis. I'll just run through them because of time. So enhanced accuracy, I was saying this earlier when I was talking about comparing the accuracy of diagnosis to human pathology. So the accuracy is spot on. It might not necessarily be 100% accurate, but the accuracy is really high for an AI model. So efficiency too. I don't even need to start explaining efficiency when it comes to AI. You already understand that when you talk of AI, you are talking of efficiency. Early detection, very, very, very important. You would see news of people getting prevented from cancers, from malignant tumors, just because they had these scans done on them using AI to pinpoint things that might not necessarily be seen by human eye, right? So early detection, predictive analytics, which I've explained, and also speed, I explained all this. So these are the benefits of AI in medical laboratory diagnosis and also healthcare as a whole, right? So we've actually come to the end of the session. I'm sorry I didn't go into details in some of these things because of time. I just want to believe that we've gotten one or two from this, and we'll just kind of think about them and give them a thought, and also understand how you fit in, right? So you might not necessarily be an expert, or you might not necessarily go and become a data scientist or become an AI expert, but you should at least be able to understand these things when it is being said. You should be able to understand how it is applied, right? There are tools that are built by these people that you can use You don't need to build the tools. You need to just understand how to utilize these tools for your own to your own advantage. So that is it. That is basically the essence of this session. So we've come to the end of this session, and I will wrap up with a quote. And it says, AI won't take your job. It is those who use AI that would. So I take a bow here, and thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question, you can throw them in. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel, for lecture. So I don't know, does anyone and throw in your questions, please? Okay, Merit, can go ahead.
All right, Mary, to ask your question.
Merit.
I think he's having a network issue.
I want to say I appreciate for a very. Hello. Okay, I'm actually living. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear
Yeah,
you.
we can all hear you. We can hear you.
I think his network is poor.
Okay, someone actually asked a question in the comment section. Victor Ifani said, has AI technology reached Nigeria?
Okay, thank you, Victor, for that question. The thing is that AI, actually, it takes a lot to adopt artificial intelligence. Although AI, we all know about AI, and the also we have the data necessary to create these systems. We also have models that are being created that can also be used and fine-tuned for our use here. But I think the adoption in Nigeria and Africa as a whole is not looking very well. We've not really come to that point where we adopt and integrate this AI system. So there's still a lot to be done. The AI in Nigeria and Africa is actually an uncharted territory. So this is literally the best time, if you want to go into it, to actually start your journey in artificial intelligence. And there are a lot of things to explore, and I think we still have a long way to go, specifically in Nigeria, right? So for your question, yeah, AI has reached Nigeria. The possibilities and basically the possibility and the potential, but the adoption and the practice is still lacking. Yeah, so that would be the answer to your question. I don't know if you're okay.
Okay, does any other person have any question? All right, in the absence of more questions, I would like to, okay, I think there's one more question. So Ali Felix is asking, how do you mean when you said that AI can take our job?
Okay, that is also concerning a concern, actually, and a valid question too. And what I mean by AI won't take your job is that we've not gotten to that point where because when it comes to performing a particular job, it goes beyond the technical aspect of the job. There are lots of creativity that comes into it. There are lots of intuitiveness. There are a lot of there are so many things, soft skills, things that collaboration, teamwork, and the rest that comes with a particular job, right? So AI can help you, can augment what you are doing, but it cannot replace you. So people that might get replaced are those that have not gotten the hold of these capabilities, right? So those people that have not gone to understand how to utilize this AI to their own benefit, they might be replaced. So that is why it is necessary for you to learn exactly what is happening, upskill, and also move from where you are into where we are generally, right? So that's just it. I know it's a very valid question, and I hope you got your answer. I don't know if the moderator is still here, because
All right, I'm here. Sorry, I'm here. So do we have any more questions in the house?
Hello.
Okay, yeah, you can ask.
Yeah, please. My question is just I want to ask Emmanuel if there's any
I can hear you, Francisca. Go on, please.
Yeah, I said if you can help us make a recommendation of where we can get trained on that.
All right. Yeah. So I would also drop a link with Emmanuel for those that might be interested in starting out a career or moving into learning these skills. So there are lots of opportunities out there, a lot of courses. But personally, for me, I take most of my courses on Coursera, and also mix it up with reading books too, and also practicing. That are very, very important, and building projects. So, but there are lots of courses on Coursera that you can start with. We have the IBM Data Science professional certificate that has about 8 courses. We have the Google, although you can start with data analysis and then move upward, but you can also jump right into the data science part, the AI part. So we also have machine learning specialization by Stanford University, by deep learning, in collaboration with deep learning AI. So these are courses that you can start out with. There are a lot of them. So I'll drop some of the links with Emmanuel so you can share it with everyone here.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel. Does any other person have a question?
Okay. My network. So sorry, my network was not so good initially. But my question is, the slide and the video recording, is it going to be shared also afterward?
Yes, it will be shared in the group chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So do we still have questions? All right. In the absence of more questions, I would like to hand over to Ifeanyi Chukwu. Anoy, are you here? All right. I would like to call up the president. I just learned he's here with us. So please, sir, can you take over the mic?
It's all right. Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can.
Hello? All right. Thank you very, very much. I would like to sincerely Thank you all, most especially the speaker of the day, MLS Emmanuel Ani. I had no doubt when your name was submitted to my office that you're going to be the speaker of today's episode. And I believe that you are going to deliver and you have done justice to it. I want to tell you, we sincerely appreciate your efforts as we intend to groom our colleagues in terms of growing capacity. That was the reason why we have this program. And I want to assure us that this program, we are going to work on it to make sure as time goes on, we're going to be issuing out certificates and subsequent episodes of it. I also like to appreciate MLS Leano, who has been very, very active, the program director of Kogi State. YMLS, that's my state of birth state. I want to appreciate you. I won't stop talking until I appreciate the sincere efforts of my national executive members. They are here in the group. My national VP Northeast, MLS Raila, my national VP Northwest, MLS Kabiru, my national program director, who is the major brain behind this program, MLS Emmanuel, and my national program publicity secretary, as well as all other stakeholders here. I want to assure us that this current administration is bent on building capacity for the young mid-level scientists. And it's my duty as your president to give you directions, give you guidance, as well as give you activities that will project you and project the image of the profession. You are all aware that currently we are preparing for AMSI national elections and the national conference that is coming up in Abuja. I want to urge each and every one of us here that are yet to register for the AMSI National Conference. We should try as much as possible to register, as this is an election conference. You will also need to attend so that all your grievances that you feel is not well done in the profession, you have the opportunity to go there and say your mind, as well as if it is adopted, then it becomes a law in the association. I'm also aware that FCT YMLSF is having their annual scientific conference, which is also an election conference. So for those of us that are resident in FCT, that's Abuja, I want to urge us to try as much as possible to register and attend the CPD for Abuja. And I'm also aware it's an election conference. I also like to urge us to always keep abreast with us. All activities that will be organized by this forum, always try and make sure you keep a date with us. Every updates, every activities of this administration, be rest assured that you're going to be getting them in our national platforms. And for those of us that are yet to be added to the national platforms, you can just contact the program director, Emmanuel. He will do justice to that. This administration is open and always ready for criticisms, as long as it will spur us to do better, because we have been elected to serve you better. Whatever questions you have, always feel free to ask us. We have all the national experts in all the groups, whichever one you can reach to, ask them questions. I think it's better than just going to cast aspersions. So I want to sincerely thank each and every one of us for attending to this program. Long live the forum, long live AMSIN, and long live the profession. Thank you very much. I remain my humble self, MLS Jagede Suleiman, the National President of the Young Male Scientists Forum. All right, MLS Emmanuel, you can take over. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. Eleanor, is there anything else that we're supposed to talk about on your end, as well as the fine, before we wrap it up?
No. I think we're done here.
All right. Yeah. So I just want to buttress what the president has said. Let me just start by thanking everybody that has been able to attend, both here on Zoom and on YouTube. I want to thank you very much. You are the reason why we put this together. You're the reason why we try to put up forums like this that are educative, to try to throw more light on some issues and some ideas, so they can spur us to want to know more. These sessions are short, so we can't get everything in these sessions, but at least they can lay the foundation and create the interest in us, so that we try to get more knowledge. And who knows, maybe we'll have somebody from this meeting building big AI systems that would help and revolutionize medical laboratory diagnostics in Nigeria. Who knows? I want to thank the speaker, MLS panel Annie, for coming through today. The notice was very short, but he was still able to do a lot for us and lay this foundation and spur us to want to know more about the concept of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and all of those as it relates to the medical field generally and our profession specifically. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I want to say a big thank you to the team, the Refine MLS team, led by MLS NOY, Ifeanyi, and today's moderator, MLS Eleno, for being able to hold this session and moderate beautifully. It's a very, very interesting thing. We hope that in future editions of the Reverend MLS, we keep the quality and improve on what we deliver. I'm very open. You can send a message to me. If you have any suggestions on what you feel we should do going forward, if you have any ideas, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll share the slides. I'll share the link to the recordings. Also, I'll share the slides this night. I'll share the link to the recording once we get it out, so we can always listen. We can always go through the slides, and hopefully, the knowledge we've gotten here today will not just be a one-time thing. It will be a webinar we attend and everybody goes and sleeps about it, and we don't apply it to our lives. So thank you very much once again. Hope to see you next month. A lot of activities are coming our way from the end of this year into next year. So we hope that everybody keeps attending, and hopefully by the time this administration is out of office, you would have had a paradigm shift in your life as medical laboratory scientist. So thank you and good night to you. Okay. So somebody said they're not on the group chats for WhatsApp. For those of us still on the meeting, I'll just drop my number in the chat box. So you can send me a message. Let me just quickly drop my number for those of us still on the meeting. What is my phone number? Okay. So I've dropped my number. Just send me a message on WhatsApp. Tell me out on the platform. Once we can properly identify you, we'll add you up. Juliet, yeah. But you got the information somehow, so you can always trace it back. But just send me a message on WhatsApp and we'll work on adding you to the group chats. So thank you once again. I hope she's still online. Yes, she's still on the meeting. So if there's any person that has the same issue, please just send a message on WhatsApp and we'll facilitate your joining the YMLSF national platforms. Thank you. Let's exit the meeting, please. We'll consult the conversation on the WhatsApp platforms. Yeah. Helena, please, can you end the meeting if you can hear me? So it's automatically logs everybody out. Okay, yeah.